Okay, here it is, cam position sensor, 2007 Cadillac Escalade. We have the 6.2 liter. Alright, we're about to change the cam position sensor on this. I seen some videos about people having a hard time. I tried to get it out, and I've seen one of the guy's videos. He was showing to hit it with WD-40, work it back and forth, hit it again with WD-40. So I tried that for about 2 hours, and there was absolutely, it got so far, it got to about as far as the outside of the, about inside of the O-ring, and it wouldn't move anymore at all. So I left it. Well, I tried it and it ended up breaking. I tried it some more and it ended up breaking off because I couldn't put much more force on it. And the whole problem with this was I was on the highway and my truck all at once stalled out, and I was in the middle lane, and it read me a code P0011, and I looked it up, and there's a cam position sensor, and just realized there was something like the low oil sensor that ended up going, and I changed that. Luckily I didn't have to take the intake off or anything like that. I just reached in the back and changed that. But here we are with the cam position sensor. I see a lot of people. I seen that guy put a masonry screw. They drilled it and put a masonry screw and work it back and forth. I'm not gonna do that. All right. So behind this water pump is a cam phaser. Right, sits right on the front of the timing chain cover. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this water pump off, and I'm gonna see if I can get that cam phaser out. It's a little bit cold. It's in the middle of winter right now, end of January, just coming into February. So I'm in the garage waiting for the garage to warm up, waiting for everything to warm up around here. And so I'm gonna get this water pump off. I have to drain everything. I figure it's about time for a rad flush anyways. So I picked up some of this right here, Dexcool 50/50. I got 2 of those, and I got 1 concentrated formula. You just add some extra water to that. But these take Dexcool for the aluminum block and all the aluminum components. And after everything's done, I'm gonna give it a good oil change. I only put the full synthetic, and I get the better fan filters. I'm not sure if people are gonna criticize that, but from the videos I've seen on these filters, on all the filters, the Fram synthetic, the best ones you can buy were decent. I'm not gonna buy those paper ones. All right. It's a high mileage vehicle, and it's a classic, so we're gonna keep her and work on her. All right, this is part 1. I'm gonna probably make a 3-part series. I'm gonna make part 2. I'm gonna start with part 2 when I get the water pump off. So there's the next video, part 2. Okay, here we are. I got the water pump off. Here's the water pump. I just got it out of the way for now. Drained all the fluid. You have easy access. There's a hose there. One right here, when it's on, is for the thermostat is right there. And I initially unhooked that just to drain the radiator. And after that, I unhooked one beside it so that the system could run out as best as I could get it out of the engine and out of the rad. And here we are. So behind here is this here. Okay, So I'm definitely gonna clean this up before it goes back in. Probably not with anything rough, but you can see how rusty. You can see how rusty that thing was. Dang. It was really rusty. Okay, you have to be super careful with the bolts. Here's the bolts that were off of it. One of them was so bad. One of them was so bad that they're supposed to be a 10 millimeter. There's WD-40 on it. That's why it looks like that. Supposed to be a 10 mil, but it ended up the one on the bottom was pretty rough, so I used a 3/8. I was able to get a 3/8 on there, and I just used a pry bar and held the pry bar against the crank wheel there, and made sure it was tight enough to just slowly loosen it up. Okay, so now, all right, there's that. Here's your look at your water pump gaskets. You're definitely gonna need to change some of those. I picked some up there, Felpro. I picked some up for $7. I think they're $7 a piece. So you're definitely gonna want to get rid of these. Okay. All right. So as you can see, here's everything. This is what it looks like when you get your water pump off. All right. Only thing I really took off was the breather. Okay, goes there. It's sitting somewhere. Okay, somewhere on a stand. But after you get that off, after you get the water pump off, there's 6 bolts that hold the water pump on. There's 3 on each side. 1, 2, and then 1 on the bottom. All right, same thing with the other side, just underneath of this pulley. There's 1, 2, and then 1 on the bottom. 3. So 6 total. 3 on each side. You take those 6 bolts out of the water pump, and the water pump will slide right off for you. I mean, if you're trying it with a bar, then it's on too tight, and there's got to be something else holding it. So mine just dropped right off once I took those 6 bolts out, those 3 on each side. And now, here we go. I got some of the sensor off, as you can see. Trying to get the camera in here. Okay. So there's the sensor. The old one. Okay, as you can see, I punched out, but so you just have enough room. I gotta cut this sensor away right here to where probably where the O-ring was, because back behind here there's not enough room to get that big piece out of there. Okay, and I'm not even gonna try and pry it out from inside. I don't want to risk possibly cracking this here timing chain cover. Okay, because if I get a bar in here and try and pry it back to pop it out, this can crack. I mean, it's cold right now. It's cold, and it's an all aluminum engine, so this is definitely not as strong as cast iron. So here you go. Here it is. Once you get the water pump off, there it is. There's just enough room for you to get your hands back behind here in the hole, back behind there, and I'm gonna try that, and I'm gonna give you an update, see how it goes. I'm gonna try. Just gonna have a lot of patience. I'm just gonna have a lot of patience and work it out if I have to, and just make sure that my hand is back behind in here, inside of that hole. I can just get my fingers in there. Okay, you can just get your fingers back enough to hold it. Okay, then you have maybe 3/4 of an inch right there where that sensor's sitting right now. From the inside of the sensor to that cam wheel right there, you probably have about 3/4, maybe an inch. I'd say 3/4 of an inch. So you just got to be careful, and you got to knock the rest of the sensor off, and then just take your time and just get it out, because there's no risk of dropping it in there. I'm going to try my hardest. Alright, I'm going to take my patience. Okay, alright, this is part 2. Look for part 3. Okay, part 3 we're going to be a finish up. Okay, later. Okay, so that didn't really work out as planned. So what I tried to do was take this water pump off and punch this sensor through. As you can see, there's still some of it in there. I ended up taking this tool here, and what I did was the remainder that was left in here of the sensor, I just rounded it out inside the hole, trying not to hit the aluminum cover. So if you look at it, right, I got in there, I hit it with a drill a couple times, and I ended up just rounding it out, because what happens is, I seen the one video, I'm not sure how the guy just popped it out, but what happens is there's a plate behind there. So there's a plate on the camshaft, and it looks like the camshaft, some kind of balancer. And what happens is that sensor goes back and it pops against that plate there, and it won't move. It doesn't have enough room to get out of the hole here, so it just hits that and it won't move. So I had to round some of this out. I took my time and just went around in circles. I just took this piece and I just shoved it right where that sensor goes, and I rounded it. Okay, and I'm just about to punch it out. I gotta take this this welding hammer here, chipping hammer, turn it this way. Okay, give it a couple hits. I'm gonna put some paper towel in the bottom here, just for insurance, and then I'm gonna tap it back. I'm gonna stick my fingers in here in this hole behind that cap, and hopefully I can get it out, and then move on. Okay, put everything back together after that. All right. Oh, whoa, I can't believe I just got this out of here. There it is. That's what's left of it. As you can see, that's what it was originally, and that's what I had to take off. Look at that. I was able to get it out. You have to be super careful. Super careful. Super careful. I could feel it wanting to jump out of my hands. It's crazy. Now I'm gonna throw the new one back in, put everything back together, and go from there. Clean everything up best I can. All right. Oh, okay, here we go. There it is, back together. There's the part down there. All right, been driving this truck now for roughly 2 weeks, and they're running awesome. All the power's returned. It's running a lot better. Before it seemed like it was hesitating when you stomp the gas, but now you can just, you know, it's firing on all cylinders every time. Alright, so that was it. P0011. Camshaft position sensor. That was it.